Call this meeting of the Planning Commission to order. Please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, well, I want to welcome everyone who's here and everyone who's watching us at home for the last time tonight. And real briefly, I will go through our agenda for this evening. We have the minutes. In our consent agenda, we have the minutes from the February 24th meeting. And then we have a public hearing rezoning on Blue Springs Commercial Center Lot Number 2. And that being said, I will first move to our consent agenda, which is the minutes from February 24th. Any discussion and or motions?
I would move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Consent agenda has been approved. And we move on to the public hearing rezoning for Blue Springs Commercial Lot. Real briefly, I will remind everyone on the procedure for public hearing. First, I will open the public hearing, and then I will ask for exhibits from our staff attorney, then staff presentation, questions to the staff, applicant's presentation, questions to the applicant, bring it back up here for discussion. I'm sorry, before we bring it back up here for discussion, anyone in the audience who would like to speak in favor or against the petition, and then bring it back up here for comments, close the public hearing, and take a vote after that. That being said, I will open the public hearing. Mr. McDonald.
Mr. Chairman, the city has 8 exhibits to offer into the record on RZ-2-14-4298. Number 1 is a staff report with attachments. Number 2 is the affidavit of publication in the Blue Springs Examiner. Number 3 is the application with attachments. Number 4 is the 185-foot notification map. Number 5 is a list of names and addresses of property owners within 185 feet of the site. Number 6 is a copy of the letter sent to those property owners. Number 7 is Title 4, Land Use Section, Blue Springs Code of Ordinances. Number 8 is a 2003 comprehensive plan. Those are all of the exhibits the city would offer into the record at this time, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. McDonald. Mr. Hall.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the Commission. Again, before you tonight is a request for a zoning change for a property that is located on the south side of Northwest South Outer Road, excuse me. It is west of Northwest, getting my directions confused, Northwest 22nd Street. The site is approximately 1.4 acres. It currently is zoned general business, and the requested zoning for this particular property is regional commercial. As stated in the staff report, the current proposal for this property is for an indoor shooting range. As you may recall, a short time ago, the city changed our zoning ordinance to separate shooting ranges into indoor and outdoor shooting ranges. It then expanded the number of zoning districts for an indoor shooting range to include the regional commercial light industrial as well as heavy industrial, which was always allowed. So with this regional commercial zone then and a conditional use permit, the applicant can go forward and look at a shooting range, indoor shooting range for that particular property. Preliminary plat for this property was approved by the Planning Commission on February 10th in 2014, and the final plat was then approved by the City Council on February 18th. As you can again see under the information on page 404 of the staff report, the comprehensive plan designates this area as a regional commercial. Most of you are familiar with Northwest South Outer Road, there being a lot of regional commercial uses along there, such as the car lots, some of the contractor yards and those kinds of things, all considered regional commercial types of uses. So this again is not an unusual zoning district and is consistent with the comprehensive plan. And with that, staff does recommend approval of the rezoning, and I will stand for any questions.
Are there any questions for staff? Just, you touched on it real briefly, but just so that everybody's clear, this is not the final vote we'll take on this. There is a conditional use that we will hear at a later date for the actual use of the shooting range.
That is correct.
This is just the zoning.
This is just the zoning. Mhm.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Would the applicant like to come forward and make a presentation? And you will need to be sworn in.
You solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give in this case will be the truth, so help you God.
I do.
State your name and address.
Thomas J. Nigro Jr., and it's 1200 Southwest Brook Court, Blue Springs, 64015. I don't really have a presentation prepared. Basically, as Mr. Holly stated, we want to attempt to do this indoor shooting range. We've identified that property as a good fit, and just been moving through the process. So other than that, I really don't have anything to present, but I will answer any questions that you have of me.
Are there any questions for the applicant?
I have one question. Have you managed an indoor fire range before, or have experience with that?
No, sir.
Okay. Well, I'm sort of familiar with it. I work in Lake City for indoor and outdoor fire ranges. So when you're firing, are you going to get much carryover noise coming outside your building, which would concern the residents living close to it, or?
We don't anticipate the noise is going to be a problem. Our first investigations have shown, relative to other shooting ranges, that there's probably more noise generated by the traffic on I-70 than what will come out of the building. But the shooting ranges themselves will be on the lower level of the building. It's a two-level building. And on the backside where the residences are, because of the way the land lays, that whole section of the building is underground. So there should be quite a bit of noise, just natural noise abatement, but whatever noise abatement we would have to add, we can do that, and it's possible to abate the noise.
But sometimes, like, I'm sure you're going to have ventilation in your basement where you're firing. Sometimes, I know, you'd be surprised some noise will kind of travel up through your ventilation system, so I'm just curious.
Yeah, it'll be an approved ventilation system that meets OSHA, and I don't anticipate that, but there are methods to abate if noise should become an issue.
I mean, I don't anticipate you should have much problem either. I'm just curious if you
Yeah.
kind of looked at that. Okay, that's all I have.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak in favor of this petition? Is there anyone in the audience who'd like to speak against it? Seeing none, I will bring it back up here for any further discussion on the record. Seeing none, I will close the public hearing and bring it back up here for any other discussion and/or motions.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Haney.
hearing no other, make a motion to approve file number RZ2-14-4298, Blue Springs Commercial Lot 2 for rezoning.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Could we have a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Abbott?
Aye.
Commissioner Sanders?
Aye.
Commissioner Haney?
Aye.
Commissioner McCall? Aye. Commissioner Graham?
Aye.
Commissioner Banks? Aye. Commissioner Phillips? Chairman Phillips?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, that motion is approved unanimously, and we will recommend approval to the city council. Thank you.
Thank you.
And that being said, we'll move on to other business this evening. Want to remind everybody, this is our final meeting in this building. We do not have any agenda items for our March 24th meeting. Therefore, we will not be meeting that night. There is a steering committee meeting for the comprehensive plan update that will be at the East Conference Room in City Hall that evening at 5 o'clock.
Yes.
And
Enter at the east door.
enter,
The east door?
Yes, sorry, yeah, come in the east door, up the little steps on the side of City Hall, and that's where the buzzer is. You can get buzzed in if it's not open at the time. We'll instruct further as we get closer, but just something to think about because it's not going to be at this meeting room, so.
and a little change from what we had previously discussed, starting April 14th at our actual next meeting, we will be meeting at the Municipal Annex, formerly known as the Lumberyard, as opposed to Vesper Hall, which is what was previously announced, so.
That's why I noticed the ramp and everything being built in front of it when I came by this afternoon. Okay.
They're preparing it now for court and for us and the city council, so. You want to add something there?
Sure. We had spoken earlier with Chairman Billups in terms of possibly having, say, open house, but possibly getting folks down there to kind of take a quick tour before the meeting, so you just don't come in cold wondering where you're going to sit and how it's going to operate. Because there will be limited number of microphones. There'll just be 6, so there'll be some sharing that'll be going on. Seating arrangement may be a little bit different than this. It's not going to be televised, but it will still be audio recorded, so we still do need to be speaking strongly into microphones. So it'll be a little bit different operation, but we'll try to make it as seamless as possible moving over there. It's actually a very nice room. Work that's been done there is quite phenomenal in terms of transforming that from lumberyard showroom to what would be courtroom and the temporary multi-purpose room. So we'll try to schedule something probably maybe late next week, early the next, something like that before everyone starts moving in there, but, you know, giving them some time to finish up some of the final treatments to it, so.
And I believe you said we'll enter in through the east side of the building as opposed to
Most likely,
the
yeah,
street side?
Right, as Commissioner Graham noted, there is a ramp with an access off of Main Street. That's kind of I guess that's the side door. I know it's kind of the front of the building. It's kind of the side for the meeting room there. Again, for now, this may change between now and April 14th, but looking at entering the east doors, which are kind of automatic doors actually, and that kind of gets you almost straight into the meeting room. So we'll get more information as we get closer to the date in terms of those meetings happening, but City Council gets to have first crack at it to try it out April 7th. So see how it works then, just in terms of parking, getting in and out, just set up using microphones. There'll be a little bit of trial and error, I'm sure.
So, and for anybody who's watching, if you're used to watching us and you still want to see us, please come down and join us. We'd like to have you.
Absolutely. Otherwise, we're calling it our podcast, and the new lingo. It's what we'll be posting on. I'm not sure how quickly that will get up on the website, but if folks are able to attend, at least they can listen in on their iPod or MP3 player. I don't know if it's the next day or later in the week, but as soon as possible after each meeting. Not live, but not soon thereafter.
Any other announcements or comments that we need to make this evening?
That's it.
I've been in this building now for 14 years. This is kind of
That would be unique. I should note these two staff tables that you see here on the lower level here. Those will essentially form kind of a makeshift dais at the municipal annex. We'll have the same podium. We'll be over there. So we'll have, as you may notice, the screen and other projector in the rear room here have been moved already. So at the light, the informational light has also been removed. But so there'll be a lot of similar functionality. Like I was saying, you'll still be opportunity to give presentations, PowerPoints, things of that sort. Haven't found a spot for our court reporter yet, but it shouldn't be too problematic. Again, it's quite nice for those of us who've already been over there. And automatically, the carpet's newer, paint's newer than everything over here. So,
And by the time we get done with that, we'll have a beautiful new room to start in,
absolutely.
hopefully next summer.
Yep. Definitely. So yeah, keep your eyes out, especially those watching in terms of the city website, in terms of updates on when things are moving and other kind of key dates, groundbreakings, water tower coming down, things of that sort. So yeah, a lot of changes that will be quite different for a lot of us.
Going to be very busy around here for a while. Anything else? If there's nothing else, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. We are adjourned.